This video will show you the terrain that we discuss in the Principles of War podcast, The Assault on Palliers Hill. This image is orientated to the northwest and looks up the Faria River towards Shaggy Ridge. To the east of Shaggy Ridge, there is Johns Knoll and Trevor's Ridge. These are areas occupied by the 2nd 27th. The 2nd 27th had occupied Kings Hill and what was to become known as Palliers Hill. They'd been relieved by the 2nd 14th, who had only occupied Kings Hill, while the 2nd 27th moved up the Faria River Valley to further consolidate their gains. This image, along with the video, was shot with a DJI Mavic 2 Pro. Looking at the video now, we're orientated more towards the north, but not completely north. The ridge line that you can see that runs from Kings Hill to Palliers Hill is almost northerly in its orientation, with the ridgeline running down more northwesterly where it goes down to meet the Faria River. From right to left, we've got the Uriah River, which comes down on the eastern bank of the ridgeline. And at the base of the video, this is where battalion headquarters and the 25 pounder were located. So you can see they were able to fire in a direct fire roll from where they were located up onto Palliers Hill. You can then see Kings Hill. Importantly, this was occupied by the 2nd 14th, but they hadn't occupied Palliers Hill. And so the Japanese came up along that ridgeline that you can see to the back there and occupied the terrain. Further north along the Uriah River, there was a standing patrol, so probably somewhere in the location of where the Three Pimples Hill is. The Three Pimples, important, this is where a lot of the offensive support was located. So there were Vickers guns which were hauled up, as well as a 3-inch mortar. If you have a look at Kings Hill, it looks like it's quite smooth. It's actually, when you're actually climbing up the hill, you can see the slight track that we took as we were heading up to the peak of Kings Hill. That track is actually, you can see where we've stood on the kunai grass. So probably about a metre high in places. So enough for you to be able to be covered when you are laying down concealment from the enemy. In the center of the video, you've got the view of the ridgeline. You can see how steep it is on both sides. Quite steep enough that you would need to be using one hand to be able to hold on in a lot of places. And this is what created the dilemma for Pallier as he was trying to work out how he was going to get break into the enemy position. Midway along the ridgeline, you'll see what was known as the knoll, and this is the position where he located his 2-inch mortar and a Bren gun to be able to provide more intimate fire as they were conducting the break-in to the defensive position. To the left of the ridgeline, you'll see the Faria River as it banks down into and moves into the dead ground along that valley. For the details of Pallier's assault, please listen to the podcast. We go into it in a lot more detail and we give you a lot more context so that you can understand the true dilemmas that Pallier had as he was trying to work out how he was going to conduct his platoon assault on what was to become known as Palliers Hill. If you're looking for more professional military education, check out our entire catalogue of podcasts. We've covered a wide range of topics, trying to marry up historic battles with terrain analysis, leadership lessons, along with the principles of war and doctrine.